Welcome to Lower Body Blast. My name is Matt. Go ahead and get started. Jogging in place, moving however you want to try to get the blood up to the heart, out to the rest of the body. Starting to get our body temperature going up. Everything's starting to move a little bit. If you want to do jumping jacks instead, that's okay. Keep jogging, start doing some jumping jacks. If you don't want to jump, side to side step, moving your arms as well. There's blood there too. We need to get everything moving. Let's make it into lunge steps. Lunge out, bring it back. Lunge out. Don't go too low to start. And as you go, move your arms as well. Go a little higher and a little lower. Higher with your arms, lower with your body. I want you to really open up and turn your body as you're lunging out. Just getting everything moving. We're not doing any lunges in the workout today, but it's a great way to get everything involved. Go ahead and go a little wider. We're going to arm torso twists. Arms going side to side. And then start moving a little farther. Raise that calf off the ground. Big swing side to side. Now, for a few movements we are going to do in the workout today. First is the hip hinge, shifting those hips back. If you want to use the wall, you can reach for the wall, tap it with your butt, and then stand back up. Take a little farther step out, reach it back. Really trying to stretch the hamstrings just a little bit to get that feeling of that hip hinge position, pushing the hips back to start, and then coming back up. Another exercise we'll be doing today is the squat. Go ahead and do a couple. Arms in front. Inhale as you go down. Exhale as you come back up. Keep the weight on your heels. Try and move your hips back to start, but keep your back lined up as you go down. Knees staying over the toes. If you're wider, the knees need to go wider as well. But if you're narrow, they stay more in front. Do which works best for you. Try to go a little lower now. Arms staying in front, especially as you go down. It's going to help you keep upright. A little more. Get the quadriceps working. Good. Go ahead and do a few leg swings. I know we've already done a few compound movements, but for all the work we're going to do, today's more of an endurance day. We're going to need very limber muscles to stay in the low squat position for as long as we're going to do it today. Other side, leg swings front and back, and then we'll go side to side. With the first side, you can lean against the wall or just try to balance in place. Going side to side. Try to do 7 or so, and then switch legs. I have my weights here. I have my mat, and we do have a resistance band exercise in that first set. So we'll get into that in just a second. Finish off with one more set of body weight squats. Try to get as low as you can. See if you can get all the way to thighs parallel. If you can go a little lower, that's okay. But we really want to make sure we get to about parallel thighs with the ground to get the maximum amount of work through our quads and our glutes. That's where you start to get that maximum load from the glutes is at thighs parallel with the ground. Okay, our first set, we have 60 seconds, but it's half and half, so it's more like 30 seconds each exercise. The first exercise, we have our band. If you have a long band like I do, you step on the band. Try to get it tight enough so that you still feel something, because we're doing side steps, side to side. We're going to start with a tall stance, doing side to side here. For the second half, it's that squat. You can pull up a little bit, use your biceps, or just choke up before you go down. My band's a little too long, so I'll have to hold the ends here. squat, side steps. So first half, you're up. Second half, you're down. Side steps. We'll do one step each way to start, and then we'll start doing a few more steps as we go. Second exercise. Put the band down, grab a weight for single leg deadlifts. We're getting those glutes involved a lot today. So single leg deadlifts, all about balancing. Try and keep your balance on that leg. I like to have the weight in the same leg side that is moving. And then back up. Really important here is to keep your hips lined up. If you start to open up, you're not using the glutes as much. You really want to use this side of the glutes. So keep your toe pointing straight down. That's going to help keep the hips lined up and down, all the way through, all the way down. Still in that hip hinge position. It's just on one leg. 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other leg. Last exercise. It's on the wall and it's a calf raise. Since we have 30 seconds, you can try to do one on each side. So when you're in that calf raise position, one leg goes down and up. You can also just hover the leg up and down. You get a little extra stretch as you're going down and then right back up. If it gets to be a little too much, go ahead and go into two legs for the full 60 seconds. You'll see what I mean. You get a little extra push with the wall against your hands. And if you go a little lower, it's a little more of a stretch for your calves. But it's not as much weight on your calves as if you're a little higher. So find the angle which works for you as well. So we have those three exercises. 60 seconds for each major set. 30 seconds for each one. And I need to find my timer, so just 1 second. Okay, found my timer. We have 30 seconds on the clock for the side steps standing, and then you'll hear a beep go straight into the squat side steps. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. With the band, I'm catching up. You're standing nice and tall, doing your side steps. If you have a small loop band, you can just have that around below your knees. That works as well. I like the standing version for the long band, as long as you have something you can hold on to. 10 more seconds. It's not a big step when you're standing up. We'll do bigger steps when you're in that squat position. So make sure you grab the ends of the band. Go a little wider with the band and get into that squat position. Wide steps as you go. I'm doing 2 steps. You can do 1 step to start just to get things going, but try to get low if you can. Maybe not all the way to parallel this time, but on that second set, try to get the parallel. Starting to feel it. Okay. Going to single leg deadlift. We might take out a set of that side steps. We'll see what I feel like in a second. So, single leg deadlift. If you want, you can tap the other leg as it goes back to help you balance, and then back up. Really focus on the slow movement going down. That's going to help get the muscle building through the glute, and then explode back up. No pauses on the way back up. If you want, just go slowly down, have a little pause as you go down. You'll really start to feel it. Standing up nice and tall. Use your abs, control movement. Other side. Keep going. Tapping back. Stand it up. We have about 20 seconds left. These go by quick. Sinking down slowly. Knee staying over the toes. Trying to get your hips to go back to really get that movement going. Standing up. Okay. Put the weight down. We're on the wall for the calf raise. Then jumping back into the side steps next. Hands on the wall. Keep your hips low so you're in that plank position. And then one leg up and down. If you can get your heel to the ground, that's okay. Try to keep it active through the calves the whole time. You'll feel your abs working a little bit too. That's good. The lower you go on the wall, the more of a stretch you'll get, but the less weight you'll be putting in the calf. Other side, 30 seconds. So find that same level you're working at. Trying to hold a good plank. You'll feel your obliques working because you're only using one leg to hold in place. 10 more seconds. Rest. Shake up the legs while you go get the band. We'll just do one more set of the side steps with the band. The next time through, the third time through, we'll jump straight to the deadlifts after the calves. So standing side steps. Go ahead and do 3 steps if you have the room for it. Especially for these smaller steps with the straight legs, you should have a little more space anyway. I like to have just a slight bend in my knee, but I'm really keeping my heels going out. That's going to get my gluteus medius a little more. Get ready. Choke up on that band. A little wider stance for the squat, as low as you can get. You can use the biceps to hold air. Big steps. Try to do 2 or 3 steps if you have the space for it. And get lower. Get lower. Stay low. Use your abs to hold yourself down. Breathe. This is the endurance squat section. Try to stay low the whole time. Okay, 10 more seconds left to get your weight. Get those single leg deadlifts in. We're going from single leg deadlift to calf, back to single leg deadlift. First side, going back. If you need to tap, that's okay. If you're starting to feel a little more balanced, try to keep your leg hovering the whole time. Hips go back. Arm can be out here to help you stabilize, but focus on the weight in the heel and a spot in front of your body. Just stare at that spot. That's going to help you balance. Switch legs. Weights in the heel. Hips going back. Body and leg are straight. I'm looking at that spot a little bit in front of me. Ten more seconds. We're going on to the calf raise. If you don't have a wall, you can really do this side. It's okay to do it standing. Try to balance on one leg. Hands pushing into the wall. Extend the toes. And really think about putting that heel forward. Keep your quadricep active, keep your legs straight, but pushing the heel towards the wall. That's really going to get the quadricep, the gastrocnemius, really to activate all the way. And at the top, really squeeze and stick that landing. Switch sides. Other side. So you're holding at the top, getting a nice squeeze out of the gastrocnemius, the calf, the quadricep, the glutes, the abs. We're all holding. It's a full body calf raise. Good job. Rest. Shake it out. Going right back to the single leg deadlift. I'm going to do my other leg first this time, just to switch it up. Keeping balanced. And I'm trying to show that my toe is pointing straight down the whole time. It's kind of hard to see because my other leg is in the way. That helps me make sure my hips are lined up a little better. Keep your shoulders back as well. That's going to keep your whole back engaged for these deadlifts. Just like a normal deadlift, you want to keep your shoulders back. Other leg, 30 seconds, about 25 seconds now. This is the side that wants to move out. It wants to go out to the side and use muscles other than my gluteus maximus, but I really want to make the gluteus maximus do the work. So force that hip out, shift the weight back. That's gonna feel that stretch. Okay, last calf raise and then a water break. Hands on the wall or out to the side if you're standing in place. Hovering. Last set, if you feel like you need to, do both legs for 60. More endurance with less weight. Twice the time, but half the weight. Maybe go a little lower, get a little extra stretch. You start to lose friction in your feet and they start swinging back. Maybe stand up a little higher. 30 more seconds. Keep going. Ten more seconds. Finish those calf raises. Okay. While you were finishing, I grabbed my mat. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. Our last sets of the day, the second set, we have 2 exercises. We're going to do something for the core, and we have more side steps from the squat position. 3 times through, 45 seconds. Sorry, was it 45 seconds? 45 seconds and a 15-second switch. So we're going to be doing, I'll show these side steps first, just because I'm already standing up, but we will start with the core exercise. So it's a goblet squat. You're holding the dumbbell like a goblet, going side to side. So instead of having the resistance on the side of your hips, you're holding extra weight, like a normal side step. Going side to side, 45 the whole time. If you want to be a little higher, that's okay, but really try to get low if you can. This is the endurance day, so don't be afraid to work that endurance. 15 seconds to get on your mat, and it's a classic exercise. It's the bicycle. For our bicycle today, pressing the middle of your back into the mat. Legs are up, hands can be kind of near your ears or on your shoulders, going side to side. It's a quick bicycle, but I do want to start slowly just so you kind of feel where you're going to be, making sure you're pressing your abs into the ground. And then after you really start to feel like you're getting it, then start to pick up the pace, and I'll cue you through that. So we have 2 exercises, very simple, focusing on the endurance aspect today. Grab a weight. I'm going to use a light weight. You can definitely use a heavy weight, even 2 heavy weights, and change it as you go for the 45 seconds. Get on the ground for the bicycle. We're starting with the bicycle. So go ahead and get on the mat first. I've got my timer ready. Get yourself set up in that position. I'll lead you through this first one, and then we'll kind of go a little faster through the second and third rounds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 45 seconds on the mat. Back pressing into the mat, going side to side, either holding, touching lightly on your shoulders, one side, other side. First side, second side. Focusing on pressing down from your tummy, from your belly, right through your center. Start to pick up the pace now. Side, 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 side. As you get used to it, you're still focusing on holding that imprint position, that pressing down with your back, but you're picking up the pace, getting the obliques to work a little harder, bracing, going a little farther with your legs. Roll yourself up, going to side steps. 15 seconds is not too long to stand up. All right, squatting down. 4 side steps, and I have a little space to do 3 or 4 steps. If you only have space for 1, that's okay. Go side to side. I like this crab walk. The weight here in front is going to help you keep upright. So if it's out in front of you, you're going to actually keep your back a little less out of it and more in your glutes and quads. If the weight is close to you or even behind you, you're going to have to lean over more. So keep the weight in front of you. If you need to hold it close for your arms, that's okay. But a little farther out, it's going to help keep you upright, get the legs working a little more. Step, 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 step. Staying in control, reaching and moving. Shake it out before you go to the mat. Second set. On your back. Get some deep breaths in before you go. Holding at the top. Starting with the legs, then getting the arms moving. Try to go elbow to knee if you can. If you need to take just a little rest in between, say you get a little too tired, put your head down, keep moving your legs, and then come back and go a little harder. That way it's like a high intensity interval instead of you're taking a rest. It's an interval. Go a little faster now. Keep pressing that abs into the ground. A little farther out with your legs. You have 10 seconds. You have 5 seconds. Push it, push it, push it all the way to the end. Big breath. Finish strong. Roll yourself up. Round 2 for the squat walk. Side steps. Another version if you want to try it. Arms straight down. Since you're doing a sidewalk anyway, you don't have to worry about anything below you. Just hold the weight here. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your chest high. Try to get lower with your body. Keep it strong through the quads. They're probably burning already. If you need to take a quick rest, just shake it out. Jump back into it. Keep going. This is the endurance day. 1 endurance day a month is good. 2 is a little better. Keep it up, keep it up. All right, last set. Make it your best set. Onto the mat. Quick rest. Here we go. Ready? Holding that imprint. Start with the legs. Then start adding in the arms. Hands at the shoulders is a little easier. Hands at the head is a little harder. The farther away you go from your center, the harder it is for your core to hold everything in place. So the next step would be arms straight. I'm not going to go there today. Go a little farther with your legs, a little faster back and forth. Deep breaths, each one. 10 more seconds. Go max speed, max pace. We're finishing that hill. It's almost there. Roll it up. Last squat rock. Walk squats. If you haven't done this yet, do the 1 step. If you haven't tried it yet, do the 2 step. 1 step or 2 step. Do it a little differently. Change things up for your head. going side to side. That's all the weight in that one side of the hip that you transition to. Still using that heel on the ground to really push yourself off. Deep breaths as you go. Try to get a little lower now. This is the last one. So make it your best one. 10 seconds, as low as you can. Lower, lower. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Shake it out. Get your water. I need to get my water. It's a little dry today. We have a few more minutes to stretch. And one of my favorite stretches after doing those bicycles, something like a bicycle, is a hip flexor stretch, because you're also going to be able to get your quadricep too. We did, a lot for the legs today. So in this lunge position, move your hips forward, turn towards the front knee, and lean it back. I'm feeling that through the quadricep and the hip flexor, all the way up and down. Quadriceps down in the leg. The hip flexor is right in front of the hip, the iliopsoas muscle. If you move the hip out a little more, out to this side, that's the tensor fasciae latae. It's a very small muscle, but it can get really tight. And that's what we call a compound stretch, where you're hitting multiple muscles while you stretch. It's a 3 for 1. Try to do 5 deep breaths while holding that stretch, and switch sides. If you need more cushion under your mat, you can fold it over, or you can get a small pillow. Small pillows are an excellent tool for exercise. So if you don't have a dedicated one, I would find one for kneeling exercises, but also in general. They can be used in different ways, and I'll probably use one tomorrow for Pilates. Okay, we hit the quadricep, we hit the front of the body. Now for the back. Go ahead and lay down on your mat. We have a few more minutes to stretch. 2 stretches on your back. One for the hamstrings, just holding onto your thigh on the hamstring itself, pulling it to your chest, and relaxing my body. And this is a pretty good hamstring stretch because it takes your back out of the equation. You're not putting any stress into the back, leaning over your body, your legs leaning over your body. So it's all about the hamstring, pulling it to your chest. Try to keep your hips on the ground. You're not like pressing up into a bridge or anything. Just try to relax your lower body. You'll have to use your upper body to hold the leg. Deep breaths, and then switch sides. For the other side hamstring. With a bent knee like this, I can get a little closer to my chest. But if you want to do a straight leg version, you can still get a pretty good stretch. And in fact, this is how I would get a calf stretch as well, just having my legs straight. You can even use a band and pull it around your shoe, pulling that. That's a good way to get the calf stretch. I'll probably do that after the class. Last stretch for the class today is the glute stretch. Heel on the knee, pull it to the chest, cross it over the center. You'll feel that right through the gluteus maximus. It's the big muscle right behind your hip. You can get different parts of the glutes with a little more of a twist, a little more of a crossover, a little more of a pull. You can play with it for a little bit, but try to hold one of those muscle fibers in a stretched position for about 15 seconds. That's 5 deep breaths. And then switch sides. So I like to play with it, find the stretch that I feel like I need today. That's the one. Deep breaths, try to relax the muscle. Focusing on my breath. Deep breaths into the belly. As I exhale, I pull a little more to get a little more stretch, maintaining that stretch. Okay, I hope you all had a good workout.